podcast. What you should be watching.
What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy Tantalizing Tony,
and the producer Kara,
and we are the Tantalizing Tag Team Wrestling Podcast.
Ow, jeez.
Why do you always run backwards? Make the tag. You go.
Run back. First of all, because you hit my hand pretty hard. Second of all, because we're pretty close. I don't think we're going to get a good high five if I don't wind it up.
The ref has to see the tag.
He sees the tag because I wind it up.
They have to hear it. The crowd has to hear it. It's all for visual and audio effects.
Child abuse.
Wow. You're 20 years old.
17.
Wow. Okay. If anybody's listening to this on podcast world, she's 20. Do not call Child Protective Services. She's 20 years old. We're doing this first exclusively for our members. The Tantalizing,
Team Tantalizing.
Team Tantalizing. Thank you so much. And they deserve some content because they've been paying.
They have indeed.
Indeed. So if you want to be a member of the Tantalizing Tag Team Wrestling Podcast, check us out on YouTube, and there's a feature that says join. You gotta find it somewhere in that line somewhere.
Right next to the subscribe button.
There it is. Right.
Which you guys should have already pressed.
Right. You should be subscribers already. And if you're listening on where you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I don't know what else is out there, but whatever it is, you're listening to it. So there we go.
There you go.
All right. So look, guys, we haven't done this in a while, and we're back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Really? We are?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We're doing every Saturday. We'll record 2 every Saturday at least. Okay. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 9, depending on what your attitude is, because it's terrible.
We'll see.
No Yeet.
No Yeet.
Speaking of no Yeet, so right there. The title of this podcast is To Yeet or Not to Yeet. Will Jay rejoin the Bloodline? So we all know that the Bloodline storyline has been going on since Obama was president.
It's been a long time.
And we're in inning number 4 now. Maybe inning number 5. Who knows? Because
Paul Heyman said it. I can't remember which one
he said. Inning number 3, and that was back before WrestleMania. So maybe we're in inning 5 now. I don't know. 5. But I'm still invested. A lot of people are complaining, like, oh my God, the Bloodline storyline is so lame, it's so tiresome. I disagree. What about you?
I disagree as well. And I don't know if it's just me and that I'm like, I know so many. Well, I don't know so many Samoans, but I've been around a lot of Samoans.
We know a few Samoans. There's Samoans that I call my friends.
I don't.
She doesn't.
I don't.
Kira likes no one.
I don't. Except for Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I think the Samoans and the Bloodline is going to be going to be here for a very long time.
Don't forget the Tongans
as well. So if you don't like them now, you better get used to them because they're not going anywhere. But I think there's nothing the Bloodline can't do that won't make me interested in the product, because there's always new people coming in. There's always twists and turns to the storylines. Like, they're always making something new, even though it seems repetitive. There's little details that switch it up.
I mean, any storyline in wrestling is regurgitated. So for people to say, oh, I'm sick of this, they're going to do something new, there's only so much you can do in wrestling. And they've done it. You have a different Roman now. Roman's a little more humble. If you noticed from SmackDown the other night, Roman was a little more what can I say? Maybe not humble, but
he was very chill. He was like, what's the word?
He said he's very proud of Jason. Jay, we're all proud of you. And Jay
down to earth.
Yeah,
that's the same thing as humble.
He's definitely not playing this holier than thou attitude like he's so elite. But
he's peeling the layers back. He doesn't have so much of a shield up. No pun intended.
Shield
should be, right?
Shield, pun intended. So right now where we're at is Roman and Jimmy are getting the living crap kicked out of them by Bloodline 2.0, which are Tama Tonga.
Yeet.
No Yeet. Tonga Loa.
Going there next.
No Yeet. our guy Jacob Fatu
Yeet.
and Solo Sikoa.
No, Yeet.
Don't you love how Jacob Fatu is? I love you, Solo. I love you. You my tribal chief. I love you, Solo Sikoa. He is into it.
He's very into it. I don't know what he has going on, but have you seen the videos when they enter the arenas? He always wears like the ski mask, or he's so ominous. And then when he's in front of the screen, he's like an insane rabid dog. Like
oh, sorry.
And Tama Tonka's like a rabid coyote.
Yeah, he's a coyote.
Ay.
And Tongaloa is just there.
He's just there. He's just like a shadow.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
But anyway, other than him not living up to the potential, I like Bloodline 2.0. Now, of course, they're not as good as the other Bloodline, and we know we're going to Survivor Series. That's where it's all going to culminate at. And they need Jey Uso.
They do indeed, because they said like 2-3 SmackDowns ago, when Roman and Jimmy were back in the ring for the first time in I don't know how long, 9 months?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Uso basically tried to knock some sense into Roman Reigns.
Big Jim, they call him. Big Jim.
Roman was trying to act all high and mighty and be like, I could do this all by myself. We don't need anybody else. But Jimmy was like, bro, we just got beat up. We keep getting beat up. So we need help.
He said, no yeet.
No yeet. The little interactions we've been getting with Jay. So, okay, can we break it down a little bit?
Break it down.
Let's break it down.
Oh, wrong faction. Sorry. You said break it down. Okay.
Yeah, so the first little seedling of Jey Uso's return to the Bloodline happened when Jimmy said they need help, and the crowd started chanting Yeet.
Yeet.
We all know that that's what Jimmy meant. Okay. Then the next week on Monday Night Raw, Jimmy Uso decided to make a trip over, switch brands a little bit, and find Jay.
Hey, man, you got a minute?
But Jay said,
No.
I said no. So I can only assume Jimmy called Jay already. And he said no. And Jimmy was like, maybe I need to do this face to face. And Jay still said no. Jay being very resilient. I understand, because Roman
resilient?
Reigns.
That's not the right word.
Resilient.
Resiliency is when you.
He's being very.
What
am I trying to say?
Listen, you go to college.
He's been very.
You're like Mike Tyson with big words.
Y'all know what I mean. But hesitant. That could work.
Resistant.
Thank you, Father.
College.
He's been very resistant
back in the
to
80s.
Joining Roman Reigns.
Back when, the first Bush was president. You see? College education.
Moving forward. All right, so that was on Monday. On Friday that same week, we got Jay going over to SmackDown.
I have a question to you.
Yeah.
Why are we recapping everything they've done?
Because we need to let them know why we're getting into this.
If they're not
watching situation,
if they're not watching the product, I'm not gonna lead these jabronis by the hand.
Do you know how many recaps WWE does?
I don't have the production money for that.
A lot. You have a voice, do you not? That's all you need for a podcast.
We're on a timeline. We're taping this on a Saturday night.
It's 9 minutes.
At 8:49 p.m. I have to get on Call of Duty at 9:30. So this right now is impeding my game time with my clan.
So you're going to talk about your plan with Jey Uso for the next 20 minutes?
That's
21 minutes?
Yeet.
I don't think you are. Let's continue. So Jey Uso made a trip over to SmackDown to try to talk some sense into Solo, because he's basically saying, Solo, you're breaking the family up. And what did Solo say?
Why do you have your hands on me?
What did Solo say?
I don't know. What did Solo say?
Solo said, I'm not breaking the family up. I'm trying to unite the family. Some job he's doing, right?
Liar.
Okay. So Jay, there's no reason for him to go to SmackDown. First of all, I don't think he should have voluntarily inputted himself into this Bloodline business. But now he's back. He escaped and now he's back.
But why did Jay show up? What was the reason?
Because he doesn't want the family, because he thinks that Solo Sikoa is dividing the family. He's standing up for the family, even though he doesn't want to be involved with the family.
See, to me, that's a contradiction.
It really is.
Because he's saying, I don't want no parts of this. And he shows up on a different show, the show he's not even contracted to say, you're doing the wrong thing. That means he wants in.
Maybe, here's what I'm thinking. Maybe he didn't want to disappoint what do they call the higher people? The
elders.
The elders? Really? That's what they call them?
Of course.
He didn't want to disappoint
the OGs.
I guess.
Well, who's the OG right now? Because we've lost. Excuse me. We've lost Alpha. We've lost Seekers. Who's the OG?
Rocky. Is it not?
Who cares? The Rocky's not. Nobody's respecting the Rock.
Really?
The final boss. Who is he?
Really?
Think he is? No.
So who do you think is the elder?
I think that they don't want to desecrate the memory of Alpha and Seeker. That's what they're talking about. Nobody's looking up to the Rock.
But I'm saying, I think
that
there's
jabroni,
a higher.
That 6'5" jabroni wearing those gaudy clothes.
I'm saying whoever
his head's the size of a cassava melon.
Whoever the higher person is in that family, Jey Uso is trying to clear his name and say like, hey, I tried to fix the family before it all imploded. I did my best. And then he goes back to Raw and minds his own business.
Sometimes I think your takes on things are so juvenile,
well,
like so one-dimensional.
Young.
So. I think you think like this is like as a soap opera, like Dynasty or Dallas.
I do think of it as a soap opera.
Oh, okay then.
Even though I hate soap operas.
No, you're not wrong with these.
More like a sitcom.
You know, you step on my lines a lot.
Well, you never let me finish my sentence.
Well, you have to know. I wait until you breathe and I cut in.
What?
Yeah, I watch. I wait till you. I listen to your breath. You go and I cut in. You step on me every time I talk. You are not a good tag team partner. You're like the partner on the apron that's never there for the tag. See?
Probably,
dead air.
Probably because they never wanted to be the tag team partner in the first place.
There it is. All right.
Let's get into what we think
Why
is
happening. Are you screaming?
What's happening with Jey Uso? Will Jey Uso rejoin the Bloodline?
No Yeet. So here's I think what's going to happen. If I'm fantasy booking this thing, he has said no to Jimmy, his brother. He said no to Roman. There's only one way to get him back in. That's right.
Can I say it?
No, you cannot say this is my line. How dare you try to steal it? I think that Roman, not Jimmy, I think that Roman is going to go to Sammy.
Oh, that was not what I was thinking at all.
I think Roman's going to go to Sammy and say, Sammy, I need a favor. I need help from you. I think Roman's going to talk to Sammy and have Sammy talk to Jey. And then we get the original four. I mean, I think that's the way to go. Who you think he's going to just, what do you think? There's going to be a beat down and Jay's not going to be taken anymore? You need that nostalgia. You need that heartstring pull where someone has to bring him in and give him. Sami Zayn is very intelligent. He's the way he talks about things, he makes a lot of sense. So I think if Roman comes at him the right way, Sami Zayn is the key to getting the Bloodline back together.
That's a very interesting take.
I'm
going to take that and then add on to it because don't
touch my stuff.
I don't think Sammy is the one. I also think there's only one way for Jey to rejoin the Bloodline. I think Roman Reigns obviously is a little sad about what he's done in the past. He's thought about what he's done to Jey, and deep down inside, he is really sorry. I think the only thing that could have Jey Uso rejoin the Bloodline is if Roman Reigns himself goes to Jey and apologizes to him. I think he goes through everyone else. I think he tries to do everything else besides apologize to Jey, and then everything that Roman is throwing at Jay's going to be like, no. I want to hear from Roman, right? So maybe he does go to Sammy and Sammy tries to talk to Jey and Jay's like, Sammy, I really appreciate you, but Roman's going to have to come to me like a man and apologize for everything that he's done. And then I think that's when once Roman exhausts all of his options trying to take shortcuts and loopholes to Jay's, good graces, I think that's when Roman finally realizes that he is the only one that can bring Jey back.
I want to amend my last statement because as you were saying things, I think that Sammy is a bit part, but I don't think it's Sammy that brings them back together. And I'm thinking about it now. I think it's the wise man.
When you said that, I was thinking you meant the wise man, which is why I said,
Yeah.
"Can I say it?" I was gonna say, "Ladies and gentlemen."
Yeah, you know what? Because I think that he is the one to bring everything together. I think Sammy will have a part, but I think that the only way to get this thing on track, and I think this is why they've waited to bring him back. Because look, if you listen to Sam Roberts, his podcast, everything matters, right?
Mhm.
Everything matters, and he's been off TV for a couple months now, and they made a mention of him on SmackDown.
They did.
So maybe this is the way how that was the little Easter egg. Maybe Paul Heyman is the one to go through Sammy and then go through Jay, and we get them all back together. Because at some point they've got to do it. We're already in October. We're mid-October. Survivor Series is 4 weeks away. So we only have 4 SmackDowns and 4 Raws. So we have 8 shows plus Crown Jewel if they want to do something. I don't think they'll do though. But you got to start putting this ball in motion because you got to have them all have the big knockdown drag out the night before Survivor Series. So you got to get them on the same page at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry.
I still think that Roman's got to be the one, but I'm thinking like Sam Roberts, the podcast he had with Paul Heyman. Paul said that he's not going to come back for no reason. And on Friday Night SmackDown, Roman was like, if the wise man was
handling this,
it would have been done by now or something
already, right?
like that.
Right.
So I think, don't you dare.
I have her candy, guys. If you're listening, you're not watching, I just opened her Skittles gummies. I'm
agreeing with everything that you're saying, but I think that Jay's going to say no to all the people that you're saying Roman's sending. Because I still think Roman's got to say it to Jay's face. Jay Uso has been dragged through the mud by one Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has treated Jay Uso terribly, and Jay was the only one that really fought back and escaped the holds that Roman Reigns had on him in the bloodline. And now that Roman Reigns has figured his stuff out and he's a nicer guy now or whatever, that doesn't erase everything that he's done to Jay Uso. Jay Uso moved on to do bigger, better things. He's the IC champion. He doesn't need to be worried about this stuff right now. He really could just go back to Raw, say, I tried my best, and do what he needs to do over there.
Maybe as well. It could also be that the Tongans, Solo, and Jacob cost Jay the IC title.
Speaking of Jacob, that's what everyone's been saying in the chat, by the way. Speaking of Jacob, did you see that little kerfuffle that we had between Jay and Jacob on Friday?
I did not.
Dad, come on. I don't want to tell you, but I got to tell them.
Tell them.
But do I want to tell them?
Do it.
Basically, you need to watch it because it was better if you watch it.
In case you guys don't know, I was traveling to Vegas. My son got married on Thursday. So I was flying back Friday, so I didn't get to see all of SmackDown. I'm still actually watching it, but I got a gist of what happened. I watched some clips. So go ahead.
So when Jey Uso went out there to confront Solo Sikoa, obviously the Bloodline 2.0 was all out there, and Jacob Fatu's doing his normal side-eye, praying hands emotes that he's been doing. And Jey Uso was like, if you're really trying to keep the family together, then why'd you have to go and get the Tongans? Why'd you have to go get Jacob? He said, why'd you have to go and get Jacob? There's a reason why we stayed away from him.
Wow.
Yes, that's what he said. And then he was like, and if he keeps staring at me like that, I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da. And then Jacob and Jey Uso like went face to face, like they had a little stare down.
Could Jacob Fatu be the next IC champion?
Jacob Fatu is he's the detour. He's the detour that I want to take because the main road obviously is Cody and Roman, Cody and Rock, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. I want to see
Jake, Tony and LA Knight. No,
I want to see Jacob Fatu versus all these people. Jacob has had face-offs with almost everyone. Jacob and Cody called him out. He was like, I want you to challenge me for the title. Jacob and Roman Reigns in that steel cage when he closed the door, you know? Mm-hmm. And now Jacob and Jey Uso. Mm-hmm. Jacob is he's the
catalyst.
Subtext.
He's the catalyst.
He's the subtext catalyst of this whole operation. So I think he's a little secret. Solo Sikoa was the secret of the bloodline in the beginning. Remember, I was true. Like, he's back there. He's too quiet. He knows all the secrets. He's going to make him implode, and he did. And Jacob is the new enforcer. Jacob is now the Solo to Solo.
Oh.
Okay, so Jacob, I feel like, is going to be a revolving door of betrayal.
Oh.
you know, but that's just way ahead.
That might be the ninth inning.
Probably, yeah. I think for sure Jey Uso rejoins the Bloodline.
Does this
because-
thing go into extra innings? You know what I mean?
this game never stops.
Oh, there it is.
It never ends.
Wow.
Okay. But yeah, I think Jey Uso rejoins the Bloodline only because after all of Roman Reigns' shortcuts and loopholes and trying to get other people to apologize for him, Roman finally understands that he's the problem and he has to go to Jey face to face and apologize. And once he does that, Jey Uso will let down his guard and rejoin the Bloodline, forming this mega team of the OG Bloodline to go against Bloodline 2.0 at Survivor Series War Games. Yay!
In Vancouver.
And Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. November 30th, 2024.
There it is.
There it is. Pack a coat.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be cold. Yeah, hopefully I'll be there. My thing is this too. Jey Uso, you know, he really doesn't need the Bloodline. He doesn't need any of them anymore. He has proven that he's going off on his own. He even said no yeet to them. He said no yeet
to Roman.
Him being the IC champion is a big deal for everybody, for the family, for him, of course. But here's the issue with the IC championship. He has no contenders other than Braun Breaker.
Literally
there's nobody in that is in the sights of Jey Uso that he has to defend against, to me. You know? So do they keep the IC title on Jey?
I don't think so.
Does he lose it before Survivor Series?
I think 100%. I think Bloodline 2.0 tries to get involved, like you said, which is what the chat's been saying, which is crazy. But they've been predicting that Bloodline 2.0 costs Jey Uso the title pretty soon. And honestly, I'm fine with that because you can never take away the fact that he was IC champion after being one half of a tag team for his whole career. So I think that's all he really wanted. He's not going to hold the title for 667 days to beat Gunther's run. So I don't think it matters really how long he has it for.
I once held a hamburger for 667 days. It was delicious.
667 seconds?
Days.
Milliseconds?
Shut up. Yeah, so it's crazy because there's so many different variables that they can do to get Jey back. Roman could apologize. Jimmy could beg and say, I'm your brother. I'm sorry. Then go Sami Zayn route. They could beat up Jey and Jey's sick of it. You know, the Bloodline 2.0. The wise man could come back and get them all in a summit. It could be anything. Or maybe Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis get together and force them to tag. I mean, they could do it. He could force them to be on the same team at War Games. That could be possible too.
Yeah.
Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce get together saying, this is what's good for business. If we get Jey and Sammy on the Bloodline team against the new Bloodline, this is great for both our brands. They could force them to do it. They're in the contract.
Yeah.
They'd have to do what they say. And then we'll see where maybe that's when Paul returns at Survivor Series, and he sees they're in disarray, and he brings them together, huddles them up, says, "Look, guys, blah blah blah, whatever," and they
become a unit,
solid unit. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble. Look, we got Avengers basically at WrestleMania. Maybe now we get some of the
Civil War.
It definitely is Civil War.
That's like a toned down Endgame.
Yeah, well, it is Survivor Series. It's not WrestleMania. But real quick, on a personal note, speaking of WrestleMania, I was in Vegas. I just got back. I actually got to go past Allegiant Stadium and get some nice footage of Allegiant Stadium.
It is nice footage.
Incredible. So yeah, we'll be at WrestleMania 2025. Where we don't even know what will be the main event. Jey Uso could be involved in some way. You never know. Another thing about the Bloodline, and to yeet or not to yeet is the title of this thing. You still have this one other guy called the Final Boss, The Rock. He came at Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Did the 1, 2, 3, cut the throat, walked away.
You know what's hilarious?
Me.
They're so all these Tongan / moments, all of them are here in the storyline, but there's also some outsiders. I sounded Canadian when I said that, sorry. We've got Rocky, we've got Cody, we've got Kevin Owens, we've got Randy Orton, we've got obviously the Bloodline 2.0, the Usos, and Roman Reigns. There's so many people involved in this. Paul Heyman. There's so many people involved. Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley's not involved, guys. She always finds a way to get Rhea Ripley involved in something. Guys, full disclosure, Rhea Ripley is not part of this storyline, nor will she be.
She can be.
No, she can't.
I just saw someone make an edit of the. It's okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's so many people involved in this. Infinite amount of possibilities that can go down. Infinite amount of turns that can happen. We don't know what can happen. We just told you what we want to happen. So, in the comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, can you comment on Spotify or anything like that?
I don't know.
I've
never checked that.
If you can't, go to YouTube.
They can give us a 5-star rating. 5-star rating.
But yeah, comment what you think will happen with Jey Uso and the New Bloodline.
Do people realize that we are the only father-daughter tag team wrestling podcasts that are doing this like this? Like, there's a few others. I've seen one on YouTube. Yeah, they're okay. Mm-hmm. They're not us. Yeah. I mean, we're killing the game right now. You know, we're at 14,000 subscribers.
We are.
We hit that 14,000 mark this past week. We hit 10,000 WrestleMania weekend, the day after WrestleMania, basically. And now we're at 14,000. We're definitely going to hit 15,000 by the end of the year, which is great. You know, we need that one viral video to take us to Logan Paul numbers. You should call Logan. I got his number. No Yeet.
We're going to Raw.
We'll be at Raw in Philly. And hopefully we get some more
dark matches. We'll get dark matches up for you if they have some.
Yeah, we'll definitely put some dark matches up for you guys. And once again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, first members got the first take on this. Team Tantalizing, want to thank you guys for being members and subscribing as well. But you guys pay, so this is your freebie, one of your freebies.
Early access
before the rest of the guys, because they're a little bit haters. Couple haters. Look, before we close this out, because we're almost at 30 minutes, and I'm tired of talking about to you because you are the worst partner in history.
You don't even talk to me.
Excuse me. I know I look at the camera because you're not that good looking.
Yeah.
What's with the makeup, by the way? Where'd it go?
I don't have any makeup.
You took it off?
I did.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I stand corrected. What's with that red thing in your hair? What's with that?
It's giving Rhea because I got red and purple in there.
That's no Yeet. I am looking forward to Raw. So we'll be at back-to-back Raws. Philly this Monday, and then the next week, the 28th, in Hershey.
I'm surprised you decided to go to the Raw and not the SmackDown in Brooklyn.
I haven't decided about Brooklyn yet.
But I'm surprised you didn't jump on the Brooklyn show.
The problem with Brooklyn is that I got to drive from Delaware to Brooklyn and get caught in that traffic. It's so much.
I love traffic.
No.
We get to listen to music.
Please be quiet. Anyway, look, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Comment on everything I said. Don't comment on anything she said because she has no stake in the game. She has no. Excuse me.
Rhea Ripley.
Please, somebody in the comments put Rhea Ripley just to make her happy. Let's close this out, Kira. So let me ask you a few questions and we'll get out of here.
Go ahead.
Wow. When do you think Jey will get back with the team?
100%.
Okay, so the question after this here's a follow-up. This is what reporters do. Broadcast journalists do follow-ups. See how it's right there?
Of course.
If you had to guess when Jey will get back with the Bloodline, of course with Sammy as well, when do you give that a date, like timeline? Do you give it the week before Survivor Series? Do you give it 2 weeks from now? What do you think? You got 4 weeks to go.
So I think next week Roman tries another tactic. The week after that, he tries maybe Sammy. Week after that, he tries maybe Paul. Week after that, he tries something else like Jey. I think 4 or 5 weeks. I think they drag it out. No, 4 or 5 weeks, 3 weeks.
So you think that the Friday before Survivor Series, it'll be solid that they're all together?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they drag it out.
Does the wise man join them, or does he come back at Survivor?
That's interesting. I think the wise man will be talking with Roman and like having meetings, but we won't see him out there until Survivor, I think.
I think Survivor Series, I think that Bloodline 1.0 is down and beaten, and 2.0 is about to put the final nail in the coffin, and then you hear this, ladies and gentlemen, and then like a phoenix rising, like the Undertaker sitting up. Roman gets that second win, sits up, and gets the team together, and they bring it victorious. But whatever's going to happen is going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. For all the people getting tired of the Bloodline, I totally disagree with you guys.
I'm sorry for you guys.
Me too.
You're gonna have to stick with it. Forever.
It's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for a while. We got more Samoans coming. We got more Tongans. The final boss is still going to come back. Do we see the final boss at Survivor Series?
I think so. Honestly,
Rocky makes the trip to Vancouver.
He's wrapped up all his movies, to my knowledge. He made his little cameo at the last few seconds of that SmackDown. He did a little live after. So he's entered the chat. He's re-entered the chat,
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to be involved in something.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is like the leader of 2.0, but we don't know.
Because Solo did say it's all part of the plan.
Yeah. Whose plan?
Whose plan?
Whose plan?
Maybe the tribal chief is really The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing. Let's get a quick prediction. That match, if it's Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu going against Roman, the Usos, and Sammy, who wins?
Oh.
Does the final boss interfere?
I think Bloodline 2.0 wins.
Does Paul Heyman come back and turn on Roman? Mm-hmm. He's good for that. Paul's good for that. Maybe he's known The Rock a long time.
Maybe because he follows the stars. He sees potential in people and he makes them greater. What if he goes with Jacob?
What if Jacob Fatu is the main guy? True story. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Anything could.
There it is.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
There it is. We end with a song.
We've got vocals, guys.
Vocals. We got bars and vocals.
Yes.
I was at the bars this past weekend in Vegas.
Dear gosh.
Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Guys,
thanks for listening.
That too. If you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, give us some kind of rating. We're going to try to do these on a regular basis. Get us in the algorithm. We know there's a lot of people out there. The whole wrestling deal is oversaturated. So listen, we can do. On YouTube, please subscribe to the 10 Rising Tag Team Wrestling Podcast. Hit the likes, the share, the subscribe. Hit that notification bell when we're going to do some stuff like this. There it is.
There it is.
And once again, on YouTube, if you're a member, you got this before anybody else. So congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome. All right, Kira, that's it.
That's all, Saul.
That's it.
Thank you guys for coming to the show today. If you guys are new, hope you guys stayed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're on the road to 100K.
We'll get there by tomorrow.
We're on a road to Survivor Series / Crown Jewel.
There it is.
No one really cares about Crown Jewel.
There it is.
Then, what am I going to say? What do I say next?
I don't know. That's it.
Make sure you guys hug your families, kiss your families, tell them you love them. Pray to God every day because you're not promised tomorrow. And as always,
do we all do best in that? Stay tantalizing. Yeah.
Yeet.